Hi everyone. Right, now we're still in Christmas card mode, and I saw these origami Christmas trees, and I love a good challenge. I love one of those fold cards, one of those cards that's going to be a little bit different. Okay, granted, there's a little bit more work in this, but I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Stick with me, guys, and we're going to make 2 cards, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be very, very pleased with the results if folding is your thing. But otherwise, have a go at this anyway, and just see that it is not that difficult. Okay, so my name is Jill Lancet, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in a Sydney suburb in Australia. And welcome to my messy desk. There's pretty much not a time when it isn't messy. So anyway, right, we're going to need your paper trimmer, and we're going to be doing some cutting and some folding, scoring. I have done the cutting, just about all of the cutting for us today. So I reckon we should just get going. I'm going to show you one of the cards I made. Now this is a very, very, very 3D card, and I'm going to show you how to do all of that. So, yep, come with me while we do that. Oh, this desk. Okay, now, the first thing I'm going to make 2 different cards, so, but I'm pretty much, they're both the same. At the end of the day, they're both the same. So I'm going to show you what we have. Now, what I did earlier was to emboss our back piece, which is it 10? Hold your horses, honey. Where's my little rule? Oh, I did say this desk was messy. Okay, so it is 10 centimeters by 14.3. Now I've got 2 of those, obviously, because we're making 2 cards, but look at that beautiful, beautiful embossing folder. And it gives you this worn look, gives it a very vintage look. So off screen, I've embossed that. You simply pop your piece of cardstock into the embossing folder, close it, and run it through your embossing and cutting machine. So whatever sandwich you need, this is a 3D embossing folder, so they are just a little bit thicker than the normal ones. So yeah, just be aware of that. So I have those 2 pieces. I'm going to pop those over there. Now you do need 3 pieces. Now look, if you've got scraps, and let's face it, who doesn't have scraps? You need 3 pieces. Now this one is 9 centimeters by 9 centimeters. If you want that in inches, it's, oh gosh, let's just say it is 3.5 by 3.5. The second size is 7 by 7. These go down in size by 2 centimeters. 9 by 9, 7 by 7, which in inches, whoops, is about 2 and, oh my gosh, 2 3/4. Okay, 2 3/4, and then 5 by 5 centimeters, which in inches is, let's say, 2 by 2. Okay, so that's all you need for this. We need a scrap piece of the any color, any brown, black, grey, whatever color you want, and we're going to be cutting and scoring this, but we're making 2 at the same time. So I'm going to show you, this piece is, you want your end piece to be 2.5 by 2. So we'll do that, and then I'll measure it in imperial. So I'm putting my strip in, and it's 2.5. I think it's 2.5. Oh no, I'm starting at 4 because I'm making 2. So I'm starting at 4, and whatever length you need. And this will actually give you the 2 tree trunks. So I'm starting with this side here. I'm going 5 centimetres, 0.5 centimetres, I beg your pardon. So 0.5 centimetres, so that's what, roughly about a quarter of an inch. It's just a little bit less. So I'm going to score that. I'm going to move that along to 1 centimetre. We're doing this in 0.5 centimetre increments, so half a centimetre each time. So now I'm at 1.5. Now I'm at 2, and I have 4 scores, and I want to move that to 2.5, and I want to cut that. So this piece will make 2 tree trunks, and it ends up being 2.5 centimetres by 4, or in inches, 1 inch by roughly 1.5. Okay, and that's going to make 2. So I'm going to cut this in half now. So that's 4 centimetres to start with, so I'm going to cut that at 2. Okay, this is our tree trunk. Now I just wanted to show you how I did that. These are great little techniques, these little box things. So that's what we have so far. We've got our 3 pieces, and we have one of these. Now, look, these are fiddly. At the best of times, make them in 2s or 3s or 4s, however you want. Okay, now this is an origami fold. So I'm going to start with the biggest one. They're all folded the same. It does get a bit tricky when you get to the smaller one, but please bear with me. Now these are basic origami folds, very, very basic. So I've got a white background here so you can see what's happening. So the first thing I'm going to do is fold this diagonally. Now when you fold this, the paper that you want facing out is the paper that you have facing you. So I'm folding this in half diagonally. Now you need a bone folder, essential to get those really lovely crisp lines. So we've folded that diagonally. We have a large triangle. Now I'm going to open this out, and I'm going to fold the opposite corners to each other. Now these are probably the first folds that you ever do in anything involving origami. So I'm folding that. So now we have, or we should have, scored crosses in the middle of this square piece. And now I'm folding it in half, just edge to edge, folding that in half and giving that a really good score. So now we should have diagonal fold this way from corner to corner, diagonal fold this way from corner to corner, and then one fold from top to bottom in the center. So now we're going to push these 2 sides down that have that central fold, push those in, and these 2 angles want to come up. So we should have, it looks like this. So we've pushed those 2 straight sides in, not the diagonals, the 2 straight sides. Now we want to give this a really good, really good burnish, okay? Now you should have this sort of like a pyramidal sort of fold going on. You can stick your fingers through the middle there, and you've got your flat triangle facing you. Now we're going to just fold this piece over, give that a nice burnish, because we want to find the center. So now I've got my fold down the center. You can do it with this side too if you want, but we're ultimately folding it back out so that we have our full triangle facing us. Now, put your fingernail up here and take this little piece, and you want to fold this long diagonal edge into the center. Now, it's easy if you can sort of manipulate it like this. I've got my fingernail up there and I'm bending this towards the middle. Now, if you're a bit worried about that, you can fold this piece up and lay it against it. Just give that just a little bit of a press with your fingers at the moment. Okay, so we've folded this diagonal down to the center, and that's what you should have. We're going to do the same on this side now. We're going to pop a fingernail in there, bend this towards there. They should meet in the middle, just like that. And when you're happy with that, we're going to give that a good score. So now it looks like this. So the last little bit is to take this piece and put your fingernail there, and we're going from center to here. From center, this point here is going to end up over there. So now listen, don't be afraid. This is only paper, okay? It's only paper. You can make it do what you want it to do. So now we've got this little fold over. So this now comes to like a neater point. This is a sharp angle. This is like a more obtuse angle, like a not so sharp. So we're going to do the same here. Put my finger there. Put my finger there. I'm going to bring this point over to here. Okay. Now you manipulate your paper. You show your paper who is boss. Okay. Now the next bit is just a little bit tricky, so just bear with me. We want to open this back out. Open this back out. Now I'll try and do it from the top. I hope you can see this. We have a score line here and a score line here from where we folded this. Okay, from where we folded this over. Okay, so we're going to do a bit of a rewind. We're going to go take this point, go out, open this point, and then reverse that fold. Reverse this fold here. So rather than it going out like this, we're going to push this in here, and those two pieces should sit very neatly like that. But now they're tucked in. So we're going to do the same with this one here. We're going to open it out, open it right out, and we're just going to reverse this fold here, and we're just going to pop that in there like that. Now at this point, you want to give those a really good fold in. And we have our first tier for our Christmas tree. Now, if you're not fussed that it sticks quite so far out, you can actually put a little bit of glue in there, not inside because we need to be able to have access to inside here. But you could put a little bit of glue there if you didn't want it to be so bouncing out. If we glue that, you'll end up with that configuration. Now I might do that just to show you what the difference is between this one and another one. So at this point, you're going to want to open this back out and just pop a little bit of glue on this piece, and the same with this side here. Now this is optional, okay? You don't have to do this. it will sit beautifully without that being glued. So I'm just going to give that a second to adhere. The second one we won't do that with. Okay, so we'll pop that over there. Put something on that so that it stays down. Onto our second one, which is the 7x7. Now it is exactly the same way. This is the colour I want out, so I'm going to turn it so that when I fold it, it is the colour that I see. We're going diagonal to diagonal. We're making a big triangle, giving it a good burnish. Now you notice I've got a nice pad of paper underneath me. I'm opening it out and going from the opposite diagonal to diagonal. And then I'm opening that out and I'm folding it from straight edge to straight edge. Now, I hope you've been enjoying these Christmas card series that I've been doing. Yeah, sometimes we tend to leave it to the last minute. This is probably not one of those cards that you want to leave to the last minute. So now I'm folding the two sides in and I'm creating my little triangular point there. I'm going to give those a really good burnish. Okay. And then we're going to start this process again. I'm going to fold this over, just so that I have a central mark, a central fold there. And I'm going to hold this part with my fingernail. I'm going to bring this long side point in and meet it in the middle. Now, it does get a bit tricky as these get a bit smaller, so that's why I thought I'd start with the largest one. Give that a good burnish and do the same with this side here. So holding that there, bending my paper into the middle, giving that a really good burnish. And we're almost finished this one. So now we have this, we're going to bring these points in and fold them to there, just to the edge. So I'm holding this part here with my fingernail and I'm bringing this point down here like this. I'm going to give that a good burnish, and the same with this one. Holding it here, folding that over, giving that a good burnish. Now we're going to open that again. Remember, we're going to open this up again and we're going to reverse this fold. So now that gets tucked neatly into there. And this one, the same thing. We're going to reverse this fold, pop these two corners out and give that a really good press down. Now, remember we're gluing this particular one. So before I glue it, I want to give that all a nice big burnish all over. And I'm going to put the glue just in this little panel here. Helps if you don't put it all over the front of the card, all over the front of the piece. So we're not gluing these two panels, we're going behind that, and we're just popping a bit of glue in there. And then when we press that down, it leaves these two flaps free to be open, just like that. So we'll pop that one under there too. And then we'll get on to our smaller one. Now, this is where it might get a bit tricky, okay? Because as you're getting smaller, it's a bit tricky to hold. So again, corner to corner. And you want to just make sure that that's even. Then using your bone folder, give that a nice, good fold. We're going to open that out again and go from corner to corner in the opposite direction. We're going to hold that down, make sure that's nice and even. And then we're going to open it out yet again and fold it from edge to edge. So this is where it does get a little bit tricky, but you'll manage. So now we have our shape again. We're going to push the two sides in that we've folded, these two sides here. Our triangles are going to form, and then we're going to give that a really good score. Now, I mean, I don't know, you could probably do these while you're watching TV of a night, but we're going to fold this one over. We're going to fold this one over so we can find our central point. This is now where it gets a bit tricky. I'm going to hold this up here, going to bend this down here and bring that to the center. Yep. Give that a good score. Give that a good burnish. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. Now, I hope my hands are not getting in the way here. So you can manipulate your paper before you actually have to make that fold. You can kind of, you know, get it, soften it up a little bit to get to that tricky little point at the top. There we go. Look at that. Another really good burnish. And then we're going to take this point here and bring it to here. Hopefully that's going to line up with this base here. So you want to put a fingernail there, and you want to bring this point down to there. Can you see that, I hope? Okay. So it looks a bit like a man's tie. Fingernail, bending that paper around, giving that a nice, good burnish. Opening this piece out again, reversing the fold on that one. You'll see it reverses into there. Opening this one out, reversing that fold so that it goes inwards. I'm going to give that another good burnish with the bone folder, and then I'm going to glue just this outside, the outside part of this that goes underneath, and the outside part of this one. Now you don't need a lot of glue. We're just going to give that a minute. Now we can start to assemble this card, kind of. Now we need a scrap of white. So I have this scrap here. And we're going to do some embossing on that. We're going to put this beautiful greeting that says, "Wishing you a festive Christmas." So I'm putting some anti-static embossing buddy on this. I've got my Versamark ink pad. Inking this up really well. And I'm going to center this up. Now this piece is a scrap, okay? So in inches it's about 3, just over 3.5. In centimeters it's like 9. So I'm just going to stamp this in the bottom half. I'm going to hopefully try to get this straight across the bottom here, because I want to get 2 out of this. Now I'm centering it up center-wise, and I'm trying to center it up along the bottom. So I'm going to stamp that. I've got a nice pad of paper under here. So I've got a sore neck, and I've been having to wear one of these silly things through the day, but it's getting a wee bit hot in here with that. So yeah. So there we go. Now I want to do the same thing on the other side. Don't know if you can see that, but there it is. And it's quite steamy here at the moment. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to centre that up there, hopefully. I say hopefully. And there we go. Look, now I'm going to put some gold embossing powder on that, and we'll heat set that. Now, if this doesn't work, yay, turn it over. Okay. That looks pretty good. Pretty good, if I do say so myself. Let's put the lid on that before it goes everywhere. Okay, so I've got, this is a 2-for-1 now. I've got 2 greetings on my little scrap of paper. Can't see my tweezers, of course, I can't see them. So I'll just use my snips and I'll just hold the corner. So I'm going to let this heat up for a minute. I want it on to heat speed 2. I'm just going to let that heat up for a minute. I'm going to hold that with these snips so I don't burn myself. And you just want to heat this until you see that going, that beautiful molten gold. Look at that. So gorgeous. And then the other side. And there we go. We've got two greetings for the price of 1 scrap of paper. Just checking to make sure that is all done. Maybe just there. Beautiful, right. Okay. So we're nearly to the point where we're going to be putting 1 card together. Now I'm going to do another one. If you don't want to watch it, it'll be exactly the same, except it will be in a different designer series paper. But you may want to watch it again to just see how it works. Now I've got this piece which was what, 3.5, so we want to just cut that in half. Now look, if this is not exactly in half, I'm sure hearts won't break all around the world. Okay, so we're just a little bit in between 2 and 2. I'm going to pop that down and just cut it. Now while I've got this here, I'm going to, probably should have done them both at the same time, but didn't think of it. So I want to score this, not cut, score this at 1 and then at 0.5 of a centimetre. Okay, so 1 and then 0.5 of a centimetre. Turn it around and do the same thing. Score this at 1 and then move it backwards to 5. So there are 2 scores in each end that are roughly half a centimetre each. Okay. Now I'll do that one when we do the second one, just to show you again, just to remind you how we did it. Okay. So I have my my card base. It is A4 cut in half, which is 14.85. Roughly, and then I've scored it at 10.5. Now I'm going to give that a fold, just give that a fold over, and a nice big score, nice big burnish. Now I'm going to stamp my greeting in the middle because, as you know, if I bugger that up, I can turn it around and cover it with the front of the card. So the centre greeting is, I hope your Christmas shines bright with the love of family and friends. Now that has come from the Brightest Glow set. It's got some lovely, lovely scripty fonts. This is an all-time favourite of mine. Oh, I think I need another mouthful of coffee. Sorry, guys. But yeah, there's quite a few different greetings to choose from. The festive, wishing you a festive Christmas comes from trucking along. Look, whatever you have in terms of Christmas greetings, go for it. Now this one, we're using this one here. So I've paired the greeting inside with shaded spruce because that's got shaded spruce in it. So yeah, tying outside to inside. Now, let's hope I can get this right. Just make sure there isn't any on these edges. And I'm going to try and get this as straight as possible. So, yep, cross those fingers. Whatever else you do, let's have a little look. Just pressing that down, giving that ink a little bit of time to make contact with the paper. Look at that, isn't that lovely? Lovely. Now I'm going to clean that because experience tells me that that's going to end up all over this card if I don't. So right, you can go over there now. So now I didn't bugger that up, but if I had of, I would turn my card over, re-stamp it, and then this now becomes the front of the card, and I'm going to be covering the front of the card. So yeah, that's just a good little tip to remember. Don't think, oh no, now it's ruined, I have to throw that out. Yeah, no, that's your last resort, throwing it out. Okay, so I've got my piece of embossed cardstock. Now this is Granny Apple Green. Granny Apple Green, so it's nice, bright, cheery colour. Now I'm going to glue that. Now when you emboss things, it's quite, there's lots of little nooks and crannies. You really want to make sure that you're getting contact, good contact. So I like the liquid glue in this respect. Plus, you can actually wriggle that around. So if you haven't got it in the right spot in the first place, so check your card opens the right way. Let's pop this along the spine edge of the card first. And just wriggle that till I'm happy with it. I'm going to give that just a minute to adhere. Now we're going to assemble our little Christmas tree now. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is take the little trunk of the tree and just bend all of those score lines. Okay, I want to bend those in. Now you're going to make a little square where one side will overlap to the other side. Okay. Now we only want to adhere one end to the other end. So a little bit of glue on this part, just like that. And sometimes the best way to do this is to lay that flat and then fold that piece over. So we've got like a little square tube. Now I'm going to give that a bit of a burnish just to make sure that the glue is really adhered to that. Now we can squash that flat. When we send this in the postage in the mail, that is going to go flat. But when they open the card, they can open that little tree trunk out just like that. So that's one piece. We'll just pop that there. Now our other pieces, we're going to, remember how I said don't glue this part down? Well, that's because we're going to fit this one into this one, and we're just going to pop a bit of glue on it. Now you want these center folds to line up, okay? So it's going to go on our card like that. So the first thing we want to do is we want to just take this point, this is the medium triangle, this is the smallest triangle. I want to put some glue on here, just on the point, okay, just on the tip of this triangle. Okay, now you need to be a little bit careful here. So you want to open your small triangle, pop the bit with the glue into it, and lay it down, and then you can line this up. Now, I've got grid paper here, so I can line that up and make that a straight edge. Then I can line this one up and make this a straight edge as well. I'm just pressing down so that that will stick. Okay, I'm going to give that a second. Then I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the larger triangle. I'm going to put a bit of glue on the tip of it, on the back. Okay, and then I'm going to fit it inside the middle triangle, just like that. Make sure all of the folded flaps are out of the way. So I'm going to pop that in there like that. Now I've lined those two up to those. So, yep, makes sense to line that one up with that one there. Okay. So I've got all of these folds are going in the same direction. I'm going to give that a bit of a press down. And when you're happy with that, that can go straight onto our card front. Now, we've got this little bit here as well. Okay, so we want our message to go across the top. So we want to make sure our Christmas tree is down far enough. This we're going to glue on after we've glued this on. Okay, so you want to line this all up. You want to have it all nice and even, and then you just want to pop some glue. Now again, this is going on to embossing, so you want to make sure you've got enough glue to get into all those little nooks and crannies. Now I've just laid that on there at the moment, and I'm just going to pop my Christmas tree down. Now what I want to do is I want to line that up so that it's in the center. So I'm basically eyeballing that. I'm just going to give that a nice little press. Give that a minute for that glue to really grab. Don't forget, this is all embossed. It's all lumpy bumpy. Lumpy bumpy, just be aware of that. So now we're going to put our little tree stump. Now, if that's too long, if you think that's too long, just simply flatten that down and you can chop a bit off it. Okay, so you can just chop a bit off it like that if you think that's a bit too long. So now we're going to pop this where we glued the two pieces together, and that's this edge here. I'm going to put a bit of glue. Now, if you have decided to just give that a bit of a trim, if your trimmed edge is a bit wonky, that's the bit that goes in there. Now, what you want to do is you want to very, very carefully, I've got the glue on the bottom there. That's the glue. I'm holding it like this, and I want to just sort of pop it in the center. Make it straight, and then give that a second. Now, when that folds down, it's going to look off center. Okay, now I'll show you what I mean. It's going to look off center. But when it pops back up again, it's going to be in the right spot. Okay, so you just need to be aware of where you're lining that up. That's our tree done. Now this little message here, we've got our little score, 0.5 centimetre scores. There's two. So we want to fold them, this one in, first one that's with the message facing you, and then the second one out. So we've got like a bit of a, what would you call that? I don't know. A valley and a mountain. So I'm just going to give that a bit of a score. Now, if you notice on this one, it's quite domed. And I'll show you how to do that. You've got to glue one piece at a time, one side at a time. So you want to know where you want to put this, okay? So we want to put it there like that. So you want to just take a bit of glue. Now don't go crazy with the glue, because this is really going to ooze out everywhere. So I've got my glue on there. I'm holding the glued side up, and I want to see where I'm going to put that. Okay. So I'm going to pop that down there. Just let that glue grab first. Then I'm going to pop some glue on this other side. Now it might be easy to turn it out like that. So I'm turning it out. So I've got this exposed part here, and that's where I'm going to put my glue, because when I glue this down, it's going to tuck underneath. So a little bit of glue on there. Not too much. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a bit of a push till it's to the domed angle that I want. When I say domed angle, I mean like this. Okay. Just going to hold that down just for a minute. And when that glue grabs, you're going to have this banner that's raised and curved off the front of the card. So it's a very, very, very 3D card. Very 3D. So you might want to just pay particular attention that that glue has actually stuck before you let that all go. Now, what I decided to do was, these are in the clearance rack at the moment, and they are called Sequins for Everything. And there's literally hundreds of sequins in there. Now, there's the number there, Sequins for Everything, 153556. Now, as of this morning, they are still in stock. So they are really, really, look, you're going to be using these, honestly, to the end of time. Now, what I did was, while I was sort of like preparing for this, I just took my glue dot roll and I've just added those sequins to each glue dot. And now I'm going to decorate this like it's a little Christmas tree. So, yep, I've got my my sequins on my glue dot. I'm going to lift them off. Now, you probably don't need this many. I just went a little bit crazy, a little bit overboard. So we might put one there. And they just look like Christmas tree baubles. So there we go. Pretty. There's two different golds in that packet. So we might put one up there. We might put another gold one down here. Oops, I could have been out of camera then. Sorry, sorry guys. So you get these hexagonals. You get what I would term normal sequins. And you get these little spots, little round circles. So yeah, literally thousands of them. So, yep. Take advantage of the fact that they're really, really cheap. Stick them in your next order. They're not going to add a lot to your order, and you're going to have these beautiful sequiny shaped things for years to come. And I'm not kidding, because I've even given some of these away, and I've still got thousands. Okay, so you don't have to put these on, by the way. This is just optional. If you want to, you can put these on. But yeah, look, even an orangey colour one. And I think, oh, one more, maybe one more there. What colour haven't we got? Oh, white. Okay, put the white one on. And I'll put that there. So that's card number 1. Now I've used that beautiful Christmas paper. Now where is it? Oh dear, I don't know where it is. This is what it looks like. This is the back of it, but that's what it looks like. Beautiful gingham. Now that is for any occasion, gingham. You can use that for any occasion. I chose to use it for a Christmas card today, and that's our Christmas card, number 1, made. So the second one is exactly the same, okay? So I'm going to go through the folds again. It's going to be a bit quicker this time, just to show you that it doesn't have to be, once you've done it the first time, it does not have to be very slow affair. So the colour that I want showing, and this is the beautiful Fresh as a Daisy paper. Look at that gorgeous, pretty peacock and green. Oh, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And it looks like somebody's taken to it with a paintbrush. So we're going to fold that and burnish it, open it out, point to point, fold this. Once you've done this a couple of times, it is so quick. So, and as I said, you could do this while you're watching TV. If you like to do stuff while you're watching TV. So I'm opening that out now. So I've gone diagonal to diagonal, diagonal to diagonal, and then edge to edge. Only once, edge to edge. I'm pushing that in there to make my pyramid, for want of a better word, pyramid. I'm giving that a good burnish. I'm going to fold this one down. Oh, first of all, I need to find the center point. So I fold those in. Then I'm going to fingernail up here, bend this down towards the center, and give that a good burnish. Just check it. And this side to that side. It's a bit easy once you've done the first side. And give that a good burnish. Now we want to take this point and bring it to this point here. So pop a fingernail there. Okay, pop your fingernail there and bring that to there. And then give that a good squash down with your bone folder. The same with this side here. Going to bring that in. And then we're going to open this out. This just tidies that edge up, basically. It gives it a little bit more lift. So we're going to squeeze that, open this out, reverse this fold here. Just reverse that fold here. Instead of it pushing out, we're pushing it in. I'm going to squash that in, give it a good squish. Now, I'm not going to glue this one. I wanted to show you the difference in the what's the word? 3D-ness, the depth, for want of a better word. Okay, triangle number 1, that's base number 1. That is the large one. Now we're on to the medium one. Okay, we're going to fold that point to point. We're going to open it out, fold it point to point. The Stampin' Up! Designer Series papers are really good thickness for this sort of thing. They're not flimsy. So now we're doing edge to edge, line that up, give it a bit of a squash down with your fingers before you actually get that bone folder in there. And then we're going to make our pyramid. Fold this piece over and this piece over. And then we're going to take this one and pop it in towards the center. Just like that. Make sure it's not going over the center. Give that a nice burnish. Same with this side. Same with this side. look, if you're bored of this part, just fast forward to the end. I'm going to put them all together for comparison, but you may want to see this again. Okay, so now we're taking this point and we're folding it across itself and giving that a bit of a squish. This point across itself. Okay. Now we're going to open that out again. Reverse this fold and give that a nice squish down. Okie doke. And then that folds all back together again. Give it a nice good burnish again, just so that it remembers, the paper remembers where it's supposed to sit. That's the medium. Now we're going on to the smaller one. And this one, you know, is a bit tricky, so you might want to just pay particular attention to lining it up. One triangle from point to point. Second triangle from point to point. Give it a good burnish. And then we open it out and we go from straight edge to straight edge. Okay. And now we're going to make our pyramid. Pushing those two sides in, we're going to make that pyramid. Give it a nice burnish. I'll fold these two pieces across like that, just so you can find the center point, which is there. Now this is the tricky one, remember. Fingernail. Turn this, give it a bit of a curl. Give it a bit of a curl. And then put this straight line down straight along that fold. Okay. So we've got that one there. Same with this one. Give it a bit of a curl. You just want it to loosen up a bit. Got my fingernail in there. I want to bring this point down to this point. Give it a good squash, good burnish, and then we're going to fold this point over to here, this point over to here. Give it a good squash, this point over to here. Give that a good squash. See, now we're getting very, very small here. So, yeah, just be aware of that. Nice big burnish. We're going to turn that inside out on itself. So, reverse that fold there. Reverse that fold there. Give that a good squash. Reverse this fold here. Give that a good squash. And then we're going to give it all a nice, good, hard burnish. We've got our little tree trunk. I'm just folding that over. I'm going to pop a bit of glue on one edge. Doesn't matter which edge. Bit of glue. Fold that down flat on itself. And I'm going to give that edge a burnish too. Now it's at this point, if you want to trim that, then trim it. I'll make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so now we have our embossed piece. We can glue that onto our card, but first we are going to stamp the greeting on the inside. I nearly forgot about that. Hang on a tick. I've got to have a drink. Oh, that's a bit better. Now this time I'm using the Pretty Peacock to tie that peacock colour in to the front of the cut, from the front to the inside. So I'm inking this up. Now just make sure you haven't got any ink on these edges, because sometimes that's all it takes to ruin something like that. So I'm opening that out. I'm going to, hopefully I'm not going to bang the camera, but I'm going to ink stamp that down, give that a second for the ink to connect. Lovely, that's you done. Right, now the front of the card, we can glue our little embossed piece, this beautiful, beautiful embossed piece, and I've used the same colour. So we want some liquid glue because it's lumpy and bumpy. So just a bit of glue, and make sure your card opens the right way. So popping that down, there's a bit of a border. Okay, when you're happy with that, give that a second. And then we're going to pop our triangles together. So we need our medium one to go into our small one. So remember, we're not gluing this part. We're not gluing that part. We want to just pop a bit of glue on the tip of the medium one. We're going to slide that into there. Now, if you want, you can use your grid paper to help you line that up. So you want the two horizontal edges to be lined up, and you want this vertical. Let's pop that there like that. So I've got my vertical line going down there, and my two horizontal lines going that way. So I'm giving that a minute just to connect, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the larger one. I'm going to put a bit of glue on there. I'm going to open that out slightly and just fit that into there. Now I'm going to reline this up. So I've got my vertical line there. I've got this horizontal here, this horizontal here. So I want to make sure this guy is doing the same thing. Okie doke. So that's what's good about the liquid glue. You can give this a bit of a wiggle before it takes hold. So now we've got our little Christmas tree. We can pop this straight on here, again with the liquid glue. So there we go. We want our banner to be up here somewhere. So when you're happy with that, just center that up. Just eyeball that a little bit. We've got our little, what do you call that thing? What do you call this thing? Gosh, I've totally got a mental blank. A little tree trunk. That's what it is. It's a tree trunk. So now you want to line that up, center it up while it's in this box form, okay? Because once we flatten that down, it's going to lean to one side basically. So there we go. That looks straight. That looks a bit straight. Yep. So now give that a minute. We want to give that a minute to connect. And then I thought I'd use these. These are called the Iridescent Adhesive-backed discs. I haven't even opened them. Look how gorgeous they are. The number for this is 161954. And they've already got adhesive on the back of them. So how good is that? So let's get them out of here and have a look at them. Oh, they're beautiful. Oh, there's even another colour. Okay, so let's decorate. Oh, no. Stop. I forgot this. We have to score this. Good grief. So we want to score this at 1 centimetre, scoring, not cutting, 1 centimetre, and then move that back to 1/2 centimetre, and do the same on the other side. 1 centimetre. I think it's probably about 1/8 of an inch, and then 1/2 centimetre. So you've only got this very small Of course, you could just pop this up onto dimensionals if you wanted to, but I just thought this was a bit different. So folding that one down and then this one back. So mountain, valley, give them a good squish. Mountain, valley. Nice big burnish with the bone folder. Just make sure that's in there. And some more liquid glue. Now, remember how we did this? We need to sort of push this so that one side is in and then do the second side. So just a little bit of glue on there. And I'm actually curling this up like this just to make sure that I'm putting that straight. So once I've got this side down, that's fine. I can put that down like that. Wait for that glue to just hold, you know, grab hold. And then pull this piece out and put a bit of glue on there. Bit of glue on there. And then fold that back in underneath. And then just curve that up a little bit. Okay, now I just want to make sure that's straight because it doesn't look straight from where I'm sitting. Oh, that's because it's not. That's beautiful. Look at that. So we've got that. I'm just waiting for that to grab hold properly, and then that will actually raise up when it comes out of the envelope. That will sit flat, that will sit flat, that will sit flat in the envelope, and when it pops out, you've got this gorgeous, gorgeous 3D. So now I'm going to put some of these beautiful sequins on here. So, I mean, you don't even have to do that. If you don't want to put sequins on there, that's perfectly fine. I'm just going to, what have we got? Just going to put them randomly. Now, I did not write down the colours for these. I'm sorry. I got a bit crazy in my zeal to get this card up and running. So I'm going to put that one there. Might put this one here. Oops. This makes it so much easier when you have the adhesive already on the back of it. So yeah, what colour is that? That's pink. That's beautiful. Look at them. You could go crazy with these, but you know, what can I say? Let me see. What colour is that? That's pink. What about if we do a dark pink one somewhere? Somewhere there. And maybe another one up there poking out or something. Yep. Okay, now you can also, of course I didn't do it on the other one, but you could also pop some on there. So let's try, we'll pop one there and one there. And that's it. Now I'm going to show you what I did for what I'm going to do for the envelopes. I had scraps left over, just little scraps left over. So what I've done is, and they were literally just basically that long. So I've just torn the edges just like this. I look, again, this is optional. You don't even have to do this. But I just thought it'd be cute if it looked like that was a bit of tape. So what we want to do is we just want to put a little bit of glue on one corner, one little point like that. and have that going across the envelope flap like that. Now when you put your card in there and seal it up, you can pop another little bit of glue on there. But I just thought that's a bit of wasted paper that is, I don't know, destined for the bin. So let's have this one going this way. So I just thought that was a bit of fun. So it looks like a bit of sticky tape or something like that. So I'll leave those two there. If you want to order anything, there is my online store. This is the December host code. Now, the last chance product sale started yesterday, I think. And you need to go and look at that, because all the things in the wonderful mini catalogue, some of them are going to be carried over, but a lot of them will go, and some of them are reduced up to 60% off. Run, don't walk, run to my store. Have a look there. You'll see a banner that says last chance products. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted. So there are the two envelopes with our little funny little faux sticky tape on the back. Here is the pretty peacock one, and here is the gingham one. Here is one that I just made for a trial run on some discontinued paper. It was a specialty paper that had some gold foil, so even better if you've got something like that splashed in there. And this is the first one I made using that beautiful cotton paper that's also in the clearance rack, and that's just some craft paper, you know, the craft cardstock, and I've just splattered that with white paint. Now, this was my experimental piece, so that one doesn't count. But yeah, look at the 3D-ness on that. That would be really surprising popping out of the envelope. But yeah, you don't have to put those sequins on there. This one has the gold accent. So let me know what you think about that. And in the comments, yeah. Anyway, look, thank you so much. I know this was a rather long one, but sometimes that happens. Okay, bye for now. Thank you.